All right. Hey guys, we're back. Another week, another live coding session. We're still working on the status page. If you missed the first two episodes, that's totally fine. There will be a quick refresher. We'll also quickly cover where we left off last week, and why we're actually doing this kind of stuff in general, right? Um, let's quickly go into it. And see what we do. So here's where we ended up last week. So we have a small status page so far. It already keeps some data in the backend in the database. We have the database on Vala. So we have you can see it actually runs tests right now and everything looks good. Cool. It keeps the information of every health check in the database so it can actually aggregate stuff later on and figure out the actual status of the services. Um, uh, in case you don't know Vala, Vala is our self-hostable Postgres solution built around the original idea of Supabase, but with a very different backend. It's right. So let's keep it with that. Very simple, very brief. Then we have the status page itself. It looks okay. It doesn't look great yet. To be honest, I think design is something we can all argue about, so that doesn't matter too much to me. Um, a little bit maybe, and I'll also go a little bit into what this actually means. And I see I need to bring down the volume just so slightly. There we go. Um, anyway, so we see we have a couple of different components. We have the uptime of the last couple of days. Everything looks good. We don't have any incidents. If we would have incidents, I think it would show up here. We haven't tried that yet, but it shows various operational status. Webhooks is in degraded state. I think that doesn't really have a health check applied yet, so for that reason, it's probably broken. And then we have, I think it was admin, right? So we have the admin UI. Just let me quickly get the token, which was replaced with a very long password. There we go. So now it's signing me in. Now we're in the back end of the status page. It shows me how many total incidents we had, how many are active, how many are critical. I actually don't know if any of that works so far. We haven't tried it yet. We could actually do some configuration here. We don't care for now. Then we have the service management, and that actually works. So we see all the services being defined here. We see what their current status is. We can create additional services. I've tried that. Test was the service we did last time. Then we have incidents for all of the incident management. As I said, haven't tried that at all yet. That is just something the AI created so far, and I assume it's gonna work, but we'll see. And inside of the services, and that's where it gets a little bit more interesting. And I think I used test for that. Yes. Inside of the service, obviously you can change the service values. The response time needs to go away eventually. We don't need that value anymore because the second we have like actual health services, that's much better. And then we have the health checks itself. Basically, the health check is what defines if a service is healthy, reachable, whatever you want to call it, right? So the easiest one is you have an HTTP endpoint and you do some get or post against the URL. Maybe you need some authorization headers, who knows, right? You might need to pass it somebody. And then we have whatever we expect, which is typically like a 200, 201, 202, something like that. We would have a Postgres check, which is very simplistic. At the moment, it does a select one against the database. The database is defined by the database URL. And we have a Kubernetes deployment check, which basically gets the deployment name, the name of the namespace. I haven't tried that yet. So by the way, a context name, I have literally no idea what that means. And the minimum number of replicas. So in this case, we could, for example, say, hey, we want a Vala deployment. We know it's in the namespace Vala. We expect the the Vala Studio component to have at least 3 replicas. So we could basically go ahead and say, okay, here's Vala Studio, Vala, and 3 replicas. As I said, I haven't tried that yet. It is not connected to Kubernetes yet in any way. It will, if everything works, it will use the default kubectl configuration. So basically like home directory /.kube /config. I assume that works, but we'll figure that out later on. And we also get to some more in-depth Kubernetes features maybe. So anyway, that's the current status. How we got here and why I actually started all of that is a little bit more complicated. I'm just giving you the like very short spiel of that. If you are interested into the deeper story, watch the first and the second episode. I've gone into deep length of talking about how we got here. But basically, the whole idea is, that when we actually created Vala, that I wanted, and I just see an error on our status page. That's interesting. So when we started Vala, or when we created Vala, and especially when we set up the demo system, we wanted to make sure that the demo system has a status page. And for people that actually want to try it out, it shows like, are the services up? Sorry, is there any specific problem? Are there any potential incidents right now? Is there a maintenance going on? Stuff like that. Very simplistic, very simple stuff. Just wanted to keep a couple of numbers. You see there are some recent incidents. And the whole system, when I looked around, I knew of a couple of different things. There's status pol, there's cache, there's open status, there's Atlassian status page, there is BatterStack. There's quite a few more, but they're either very rigid in what they make it able, or what you can achieve, and with the checks that are implemented, or that are available, or they're quite expensive, and potentially still too rigid, right? So in the day and age of agentic coding, vibe coding, whatever you want to call it, agentic assistance, I thought, hey, if I already build a dashboard, an admin dashboard that helps us to manage the system, why, and that already has health checks and the option to figure out if database branches are broken and potentially fix them, and all the kind of stuff, why am I not just adding a status page myself? I mean, I've built this like massive admin dashboard with all this functionality. Adding a status page can't be that hard, right? So that is how we got here. And then I thought, hey, that's actually pretty cool. That would probably make a really nice, not product, but a really nice project in itself. And I could take just everyone along for the ride while we're building something similar. It will not exchange the status page that we have here right now, because that's way too deep into this built into the system. But hey, we can just build something that is on GitHub that everyone can use, that potentially people will extend in the future. Who knows? So yeah, long story short, this is how we got here. From a code perspective, just quickly going through all of that, and let me switch to the larger screen. There we are. The whole thing is built in Next.js. As you can see, we have a few things. When it starts up, it actually starts the health check scheduler in the background that runs. I'm so sorry, my voice is all that cracky today. That actually starts the scheduler once a minute, or like executes the health checks once a minute, imports the data into the database, all that kind of stuff, nothing fancy. A lot of pages, a lot of routes, but nothing out of the ordinary. I think everyone who's built a Next.js page before has kind of seen those things. We have the lib directory underneath here, and that handles all of the like database access, the health checks. There we go. There's the health checks. It already made it quite generic because I asked it to. So it basically does like the base health check that is like the name, the timeout, and all that kind of stuff. And then it has specific health checks per health check type. If we would add more, a single file might not be enough anymore. In this case, I would actually split it into different directories or whatever. But I think for now, that's perfectly fine. One thing which is a little bit different from what I've done with the why is that actually telling us that? Let me do that in the meantime. One of the things that I've done slightly different from how it is in the Vela installation is that in this case it actually how to say that so with the Vela implementation, I'm using the Kubernetes cron job implementation to actually send the per minute request to the backend using a webhook. So basically, I have a Kubernetes job that calls to a specific internal webhook once per minute, and that executes the health check. I didn't do this here. I thought it was a little bit easier to just keep that out for now because we're not deploying into Kubernetes yet. If we would ever get to the point of using Kubernetes, it might be perfectly fine to say, hey, let's reuse the same the same concept. We have an internal route with a specific like magic key or whatever that literally just goes ahead and says, yep, I'm good, right? Okay, anyway, here we are. Last time we ended up, let's go back to the public status page. Right, I need to start the server again. Nope, not that one. That one. So let's go back to the public status page and see where we stand. So we know that this works, but I think the 93 milliseconds is actually, it might be valid. It says 99 here, so let's look into the database. Was there a 99 millisecond in the recent past? No, not really. Not really, not at all. No. So okay, let's figure out where the 99 comes from, or 93, and let's fix that. Okay, to do that, let's have a quick look. I think the service definition at the moment has the number. So where's our service components? Where we go, response time millis, and let's just quickly do what we can. So remove these response time millis from service components. And in case you wonder, I'm using Codex inside of WebStorm, which is an IntelliJ IDE. So far, I've got the best experience with that, but I'm far from an experienced vibe coder. I know in case you're interested, on Friday, we actually have a quick discussion round on socials, LinkedIn, and stuff regarding MCP servers versus CLI. and what is better. And I definitely have some friends with me which are way more into vibe coding. They use multiple agents at the same time. I'm all not that deep into that. I'm still getting started. So if you have any, also if you have any recommendation, any thought, please feel free to drop stuff. Anyway, so remove the response time millis from service component table. Let's make this nice English from the table. And use the response time from the last, what is it? Health check remote result minute entry for this specific service. Oh, wait, it has two. It actually has two response times. So I assume, does it maybe, just maybe, do like an average response time, which doesn't make any sense. Let's figure that out first. So let's remove that. And it's, there we go. So how is the response time on the public status page? So let me guess, it actually takes all the last values and then it takes an average, which doesn't make sense if you have different services. Let's see, maybe that's how it works. And this is for me personally, that is for those AI agents really, or coding agents really shine. In this case, the code base is fairly small, but I'm just working on something else where I'm trying to figure out how to optimize something in Vala, and I'm actually using it against the whole code base and ask it specific questions and say, hey, create me like a technical design document or an architecture overview specific to my request, right? And it looks for all the code and figures out all the technical necessities or the small technical bits that are important. So schedule runs every second. Each check latency minutes is measured, blah, blah. Yes. The check config is The computed value is stored in service component response time. Right. So I extend a little bit on the question and ask it like, hey, how is the actual latency? There you go. It is implemented, blah, 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 at the average latency calculation and then written to, yeah, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Average is not what we want. To be honest, I think the latency doesn't give us anything. We want to know if it's up or not. So let's quickly remove that and we bring it back here. We do not need the response in the public status page. Keep it in the database though. Let's see what it does. So I basically told it like remove the response time millis from the table, but keep all the response time values in the database, just like we had, right? So let's see. It's quickly doing that. Let's see if it actually does the alter table. Okay, does it like that? Yeah, it's fine. We can quickly run that. I didn't connect it to the agent yet, so the agent does not understand how to actually run SQL commands at the moment, but in theory I could actually do that. Yeah, I know it's a destructive thing. I still want to execute it. All right, so back to the table editor. And now we got rid of that column. There we go. Okay, that all seems to still be working. What I told last time, what I really like to do is just quickly having like at least a basic look over the changes that the code does. I always feel more safe. And I mean, as an engineer, I understand what is going on, right? Or at least I should understand what is going on. In general, I believe that vibe coding is great for engineers that could write the code themselves, that understand the code. If you don't, you might get issues. And I just saw a very interesting screenshot today. Let me see if I can quickly bring it up, just for the sake of it. It's not really a meme, because I think it actually happened. But let me just quickly bring it up, so I can show it to you. That's what I believe is so dangerous about vibe coding. Close. Come on. Where? There you go. Whatever. So what happened here is that somebody vibe coded like a wait list, which is great. I believe that it's a really cool use case. The problem is the person either didn't pay attention to the code that was generated, or did not really understand the code, which is probably even worse. And what happened is that the JSON response has all the email addresses of everyone on the sign up list, because the size of a wait list is actually calculated in the front end. That is totally not how it should work, and that is why I believe vibe coding is great for efficiency of people that could write the code, but it's probably not as great for people that do not understand the code. Anyway, so what I said is I quickly have I normally have a quick look around the source code, just making sure we have this, just making sure that we are at least in somewhat of an agreement what is happening, and I think that all looks good. There's some more changes. There's response time removal. Yep, it all looks good. More response time removal on the pages. Yeah, I think I am very much happy with all those changes. So I assume it actually removed it here as well. Yes, it did. And let's see. Okay, that one never I don't know if that one had it. Probably. I think we changed 3 files, or 3 pages. So there we are, all gone. Cool. So let's see how our uptime bars are actually calculated. Let's remove that. We removed it from the code, so well, anyway, let's keep it here, just for good measure. At the moment, it has some hard-coded service components. I think that is, yeah, I think that's fine. Let's just leave it like that. So let's have a quick thought. We have the health checks, they're executed. I assume it is also writing the current status when updating the health checks. Is it? Yes, there we go. So it updates the next status. Okay, fair enough. That's totally fine. It's some type of caching, but one thing I see. Okay, no, it does. Is there like really no way of doing a transaction? No, okay. It seems to be correct. All right, so what that does, just in case you're not super familiar with Postgres and stuff, it basically creates an explicit transaction, or like it begins an explicit transaction, then it does all the health checks and the updates, and in the end, it either says commit, so basically finishing off the transaction and committing its state, or if something goes wrong, whatever it is, it rolls it back, meaning it forgets about any change done in this transaction and keeps the previous state. That makes perfect sense, and I just wanted to make sure that it actually used that, because it initially didn't look like it. Is it the most beautiful thing I've seen? No. There's probably some nice things like one of those ORM frameworks like Microorm or whatever it's called, that also has a criteria API. It might be much nicer, but hey, it is what it is. We all know vibe coding doesn't create like the most beautiful code, and I think we can always update it and fix it afterwards. Let's get it done first, and then we eventually go through and do a couple of different changes and tell it to fix stuff. Okay. Anyway, I think that's good enough for now. It seems to mostly work. We could quickly go ahead and add. We could try and add. Let me see. Core API, maybe that one. I'm actually not 100% sure what I have to configure. Just let me, on the other screen, just let me quickly make sure that I'm running against our dev cluster, so I'm not breaking anything just by accident. And what is the deployment actually called? kubectl and Vala get deployment. I think it's Vala controller, so let's try that. Vala controller. In namespace Vala, and I think it should have one replica on the development system. So let's see. It should update in a few seconds. We can actually sort this backwards. Well, let's keep going while that is working, or potentially coming back. Let's quickly go here. Test incident. It is status open. It is a critical issue. We completely fucked up the system. There we go. We've up. Everything's broken. Nothing works. Arc. Come on. There you go. Let's do only 1A. All right. Create incident. Let's see. Now we have an open incident. Let's see what happens. Because now I would actually, okay, this the system is in degraded state. I think that was actually happening before, right? Okay, now we have an outage, which is cool. Oh, right, it is in degraded state because that one was degraded all along. Okay, we see we have an active incident down here. It's open. It does not have a way to show the full text, which is weird, but okay. And I would love to have it up here as well. So if there's, let's quickly go back so you can see what I'm typing. Is an active incident. The incident should be shown on the top of the public status page. And it should also show the description as well as additional update comments. Do we even have update comments? I don't know. If not, I will probably add it now. I basically asked it to. So let's go back here while it's doing stuff. One of the things that I love to do is just making sure that all the time I'm doing like a little bit of an git commit, because I had the problem in the past that something went completely off rail. There we go. What did we actually do again? Oh yeah, removed response time millis. Yeah, so from that perspective, I kind of like to make sure that stuff doesn't go completely off rail, that I always have a way to go back. So normally every 2-3 commits, whenever I'm happy with the state, I learn to just commit stuff. And then have the API keep going. So now we have incident updates. So it did not do this so far. Cool. But it automatically figured out I want incident updates. So it's adding those, which is good. So that means it also extending the schema, big int. I don't know why it loves big int. I mean, we are in Postgres 18. I probably should have told it. We're in Postgres 18, so we could use UIDv7, but hey, big int is totally fine. We're not doing anything security related here. What we actually want to hide something. Incident result. It's mapping all the stuff. Updates by incident. Getting all the rows. Incident ID. Okay, fair enough. Doesn't look perfect, but it looked good enough. Update comment. Yep. And there we are. Incident manager. Now it's updating comments. Let's see how it's going to implement that. Update comments. Okay. But you're only saving one. Right? You're only saving one. I want comments. How we do here? Incident update. Oh, right. Every okay, I understand. Every update can only have one comment. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That is very valid. Resolved. All right. Yeah. It's adding some stuff here. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Cool. Broken. Ah, right. Yes. Obviously, I need to create the table. We're going back here. SQL editor. Where is my SQL editor? Give me my SQL. There you go. Run. And now this is working. This is working. Perfect. So active incident. Critical. I think I want to have this red, just to make it obvious, for the active incident. If the if the incident is major or critical, make the box red-ish. If minor, make it yellow-ish. Hide it. If Everything is good. Oh, major critical doesn't actually make sense. I think it uses outage, but hey, anyway. Let's see. I mean, it has outage here. It has critical here. I think it's gonna be fine. It'll probably understand. There we go. Perfect. That looks very beautiful. So now let's go here. We failed and just made everything even worse now. We're working on that. Let's save it. It's updating. It has added the comment. Let's see how that works. Oh, cool. All right. Yep. I like that. Might be nicer a little bit with a little bit of indentation, but I think it's totally fine. I guess we can keep it like that. Let's quickly add another one so we see what happens next. All right, let's reload. Okay, no, I think that's perfectly valid. I might want to have. Oh wait, I know what. Let's do that one quickly. And now make all dates ISO 8601. Being in Germany, I assume that it's the 3rd of March, and tomorrow would be the 4th of March. But I don't know. It might. I assume it uses local. The current locale to actually format this, but I don't know. Let's use something that everyone, no matter where we are in the world, well, almost, understands, and that's ISO 8601. It is the only thing that actually makes sense to me. Yes, okay, close. But we have to do something like this, UTC. Oops. Small typo, shouldn't matter. So what I basically told it, hey, here is a specific date for map that I'm looking for. Yes, perfect, thank you. I basically used. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Go. Go has a very interesting way of defining date formats. Basically telling the formatter how you want to have the code formatted. Go date format. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Time format. There you go. Hopefully it shows the constants. Right. So basically there is a specific date, which I assume is the inception of Go, but to be honest, I don't know. I've never looked it up. But it has a specific date that you are supposed to use as an example to teach it how to format stuff. So if you ever are in the situation that you actually have to write your own Go date time format string, this is how it works. Anyway, okay, cool. I already saw before we moved away. Here is our stuff. So let's do that. I'm happy with that. Zup. I could actually use -a. I'm not sure why I'm not doing that. Fixed date format. All right. So now we have a format that is totally unambiguous. People will understand. So let's go ahead and fix the status and see what our status bar down here actually does, because this one has to keep red because it's a daily status and we had an outage, so it has to stay correct. So even if we resolve it now, yeah, cool. How do I resolve? Oh, all right. I think I actually put it. Oh, let's see. What does monitoring do first? Found and fixed. Monitoring the situation. We fixed that everything was broken. Cool. All right. So let's see. It is okay. I think if we actually move it to, why is monitoring actually not a state? Is it now a monitoring? Yes. Let's quickly fix that. If an incident is moved to status monitoring, downgrade the incidents, God, severity to minor. At that point, we display, not in the database. So basically, if major or critical, but status is monitoring, it's minor. Let's see if it actually understands that. So my thinking here is that even though it was a critical issue, we actually moved it to monitoring. So now we should be okay saying the system is basically back up. We just keep an eye on it, right? Oh, and I didn't realize, but it actually orders them latest to oldest. That's actually cool. All right, so minor. And it created a new display, so it understood it is not supposed to change it in the database, which is good. All right. So that looks good. And we stay red here, which is also good. But one of the things that I just realized, and you might have screamed at my screen, at me in front of your screens already. One of the things that I just realized is all of them are red, which is absolutely not correct. So let's do that. I'm not sure why I didn't do this earlier. Incidents in okay. And here we are, the uptime bars on the public status page are all showing red bars if a single service is down. Oh no, I know why. I know why, because we had an incident and the incidents can or do not have a meaning of which service they apply. Oh, right. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so let me quickly zoom back in. Get rid of this. No. basically what I told it is like, hey, if I create an incident, I want to be able to select the different services this incident applies to from the list of existing configured services, right? So I don't want to spell them out by name, just to make sure. But that means that if I actually create a service, or if I create an incident and select a service, the status of the incident only applies to that specific service. I think we might have to clean up the database in just a few seconds, just to make sure that we're back into like a clean state. But let's see what's happening. And to be honest, I think we can already do that. I guess if I go ahead and just remove the incident updates and the incident itself, it might just disappear. We'll see. All right. Yep, all green again. Cool. So that is also nice. That means it actually applies the service updates or the service status and the service status and the incident status, which is actually not true because that one is degraded, so that is not applied here. All right. Anyway, let's see. Incident service components. Okay. So it wants to create some additional tables, which makes perfect sense. So we're gonna do that. We go here and run. And now we have the additional tables, not additional service, additional tables, obviously. It adds the components IDs. Oh, wow. Okay. Incident severity to component status, minor degraded, outage. Okay. Component status wait. If outage. Okay. So it orders the different statuses. That makes sense. It compares status wages to make sure that it always gets the higher one. Apply incident status. One thing I figured is that it really loves to use maps. All right. I guess it would be possible otherwise, but hey. All right, fair enough. Whatever. So it's only a thing that it uses shortly, but it's kind of weird to use a map for that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway. Okay. So what did it do here? It's using the new map or the new mapping, the rendering, assignment rule, SQL, the database commit in a transaction. That is also in a transaction. All right. I feel like it's using this begin, commit, rollback stuff so much that I feel like I want to push it towards creating that as a function with a callback to run the command. But let's see. Where's the stuff? So I think we looked at what do we actually look at? We looked at that one. We looked at series. I think we looked at that one. We haven't looked at that one. Components. Okay. It's that one again. Toggle series selector. Okay, so that's toggle and the probably checkboxes. Create incidents. Ooh, one or more selected services. Okay, so that is ugly. Okay, I think that is the error code for foreign key constraint error. Ooh. So basically we try to submit a service that doesn't exist, which shouldn't happen anyways, but wow, that is not beautiful. Okay. All right. Anyway, there's one more. Okay, it's just getting data, looking for errors. Okay, fair enough. All right. So let's see again. I need to create a new incident. And that doesn't work because, okay, now it works. I don't know, whatever that was. All right, ignore it for now. Incident, Status is open, severity is major this time, and we see we have the affected services. And let's try we do those two: core API, customer dashboard. All hull breaks loose. Always break. Is that how it works? Is it double O? I don't know. There we go. All right, let's create the incident. Actually, we have one active incident. Okay, that's cool. Did that actually work here? We have one total incident, one active. No critical incidents. That is true. It is a major one though. Okay. And now we have the incident here, but it neither applies here nor does it apply here. All right. Okay. All right. So what I basically tell it now is, hey, I created a new incident. I applied it to two services. I applied it to two services, but those services are not affected by the incident, which is wrong. We saw that it happened before, so it kind of worked here. Apart from the fact that it applied it to all because we didn't have the service selection, but now it does not apply at all. So this one should be red, that one should be red, and obviously those two should be in outage, major incident, whatever, probably degraded. I don't know what they call it. What it will call it, we'll figure it out, right? Anyway, we should see some changes. Okay, now we have those two in outage. There you go. Perfect. Now it works. Let's see if we can update the services for this incident. If so, let's try. All right, cool. Yeah, I think that actually works now. That is very nice. So one more thing that we actually fixed. It was a quick fix also. All right, cool. So now it works. That one is also fine. Yeah, cool. All right. Wow, it was only a 6-line fix. What is the actual? Seriously, you have to add number to it. Like seriously, that's how it works. What is number? What is row? Oh, let me guess. It returns strings only. So you actively have to cast it. I'm actually not a big fan of using number to cast stuff. I think parse int is the much nicer option, but I think in the end it doesn't really make a difference, except for that would potentially return not a number. If there's any JavaScript crack out there that knows any of the or all of the JavaScript runtimes from the top of his hat or her hat or their hat, please let me know. Number string, can that return not a number? Or will that also... Oh, you know what? we have a freaking browser, so why don't we try? So we have a number. So what I would do is parse int and say 12, right? So that will give me 12. If I do 12f, it will also give me 12. It's also not a perfect way, as you can see. Okay. Oh wow, that also gives me another number. Okay. I assume that will do exactly the same thing. 12. Oh no. Oh, why does everything in JavaScript behave different? Oh god. Please God. No. Okay. Right. Okay. So number might actually be the better version. There you go. I learned something. How the heck is that 12? That 12. Oh my god. JavaScript. JavaScript, you're making me nuts. All right, cool. I learned something. There we go. Perfect end for the today's session. We're almost at the top of the hour. Let me see if we can do one quick more thing. Let's quickly get the status set up. Incidents are now. Why by the way, why did I do this? Anyway, incidents, not incidences. Incidents are now applicable to specific services only. All right. Yeah, whatever that was. Let's quickly push also. And let's see if there's one more thing that we can quickly do, which would be, do we actually do the daily, where is it? Tables, no, table editor, stupid me. Daily. It does, yeah, it does see like we do. Okay, so we already have. Okay, it still has average latency. It doesn't make any, well, okay. I mean, at least it's per service, so it kind of makes sense. Unhealthy runs. Yeah, I think that actually makes a lot of sense. I guess it automatically updates it every time it writes a new health check. Did I miss that? Where are you actually doing stuff? Insert. Yeah, there's the daily run. Okay. Oh, that's haha. That is the ugly function, or this ugly SQL statement I saw before. Okay, got it. All right. Wow. Okay, fair enough. It actually does all the checks. Or wow, that's nice. It is not as ugly as I thought it'd be. It looks ugly because it's all underlined. Because I don't have the database connection set up, like the database in WebStorm. But so what it does is it actually uses an old style upsert. These days you could do an upsert differently in Postgres, but let's assume insert into on conflict do update is still like what most people will probably do. The upsert merge is slightly different. So it will insert into this table and into this set of columns. And it basically tells the query, like, here is your set of values if none of the row, or if there is no conflicting row right now. And the conflicting row would be like the day bucket, the service component ID, and the service health check. So if those three values are like they are here, like the first three values, that will be a conflict. And then it says, okay, if I find a conflict, I want to do an update, and it basically calculates the values for this update, like what is the average, what is the total number of runs, and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. Oh, except for that this is completely okay. Anyway, so it basically goes into the database and says, hey, give me the previous value and let me do some additions, right? Let me increase my number of total runs. Let me recalculate the average, which is not perfect. I would not recommend using an average, multiplying it by the previous number of total rows, then adding the current average and calculate and dividing it again. Not a perfect way. Averages of averages are not a good idea. In this case, it's not as bad because we're basically multiplying it up and dividing it down. But in general, it would be better if it had like the total latency for that day, and then it would divide it down. But it doesn't matter. We're not using that value anyways. We could potentially remove it altogether in the end, and then update it at set to now. Okay, well, I think that's cool. We are at the top of the hour. We didn't get to another element, but we learned some more things. So from that perspective, thank you very much for being here today. As I said, on Friday, we have the discussion, do we need MCP servers or are CLIs good enough? The whole discussion will go around the idea of should agents and OpenClaw and coding agents, do they need MCP servers? Is there a value in adding an MCP server, or is just remote controlling a CLI good enough? And I'm looking forward to the discussion. I don't know the answer myself. I'm still trying to figure it out at the moment. Mostly because we're thinking about building our own MCP server for Vala. So I want to understand, do I really have to do that? Is it wasted time? Or is there real value to it? You can find, if you go to my my LinkedIn page or to my Twitch account or anything, you're gonna find the session. Otherwise, it is this Friday, which is, I think, the 6th of March, at 4 p.m. UTC, 5 p.m. CET. And I hope I see you all there. Feel free to drop questions, join the conversation. I'm looking all forward to that. And thank you very much.